Hi guys, welcome to Divine Conversations. Thank you for joining me. I'm Eric. If you are new to the channel, it is so great to meet you. Thank you for joining me. And if you are returning, it's great to see you again. So, I am bringing you your messages for the twin flames for the week of February 12th through to the 18th. Please understand that these are general messages, so please take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. Also, understand that these messages are timeless, even though they're coming out through the scope of this, certain week. These messages are timeless. So just because it resonates, it doesn't. If it doesn't resonate with you now, it could resonate with you in the future. Or if you find yourself being drawn to this message like a month after it was released or whatever, it resonates with you at that time. And please, please take what resonates. If you would like to ask me a quick question, I am available on Instant Go. If you want to do a personal reading with me, a full personal reading, you can email me. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. You can do that as well. All of that information is in the description box down below. So, let's get to your messages. This is for the Divine Feminine for the week of February 12th through to the 18th. I do want to say a quick note. I was doing a nice pre-shuffle for the twins, just setting the intention and getting the energies together, and getting the energies into the cards. And two cards popped up. It was the Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune. I did pull them out for the Divine Masculine video, so I'm going to pull them out here just so that you can see them. They popped out while I was shuffling. Pre-shuffling. So I do want to talk about that because it is an overall message for the twins as a whole. This last full moon cycle here has really shaken things up. And from the Divine Feminine perspective, we know that. We really went through some rough stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, the Divine Masculine went through some rough stuff also. They had a lot of things illuminated for them in their relationships, and so and they have a lot of changes in perspective that are resulting in that. So for the Divine Masculine, from their perspective, Wheel of Fortune and Judgment is speaking to that. Now for the Divine Feminine, this is speaking to the same thing. But overall, what we're seeing here with these two cards is an ending of a major life cycle and basically ascension. I see ascension in this card, in Judgment. So, major life cycle is ending, and we're being called to something greater, something higher, and we're actually answering that call in many situations, in many cases now. Now, the Divine Feminine as a whole has really been doing that for the most part anyway, but now we're doing it on a deeper level, and the Divine Masculine is also doing it on a deeper level. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so let's get to it for your reading. Divine Feminine, what's going on? Spirit, please make me a clear channel for the Divine Feminine. Please bring us the best messages for the Divine Feminine for this week, February 12th through to the 18th. Thank you so much, Spirit. Just give a few shuffles here. I hope everyone is doing okay, moving through this full moon energy. We do have a partial solar eclipse coming up soon, but I think that's happening. But I just hope everyone is getting through this energy okay. We are going to be dealing with it for a while. I know I'm personally still trying to deal with it. For me, this last full moon has really highlighted a lot of things in my relationships that have been imbalanced. And it's caused me to question whether or not I want to walk away from my twin. And I know if you've been following me, you heard a lot about it, about how I feel about the situation right now. But that's actively been changing as we shift, as we move through this energy, as we get deeper or further away from the energy, however you want to say it. My perspectives have been changing, and yeah, I started with understanding how I've been overgiving or how things have been imbalanced, and so that has caused me to want to move away from the situation. But now the focus is changing. At least for me, the focus is changing on how I am actively working on how I'm actively blocking things with my negative perceptions of things on a lot of the ways. So I'm wondering if we'll see how this comes up in the message, if this comes up for us this week, Divine Feminine. But Yeah, there's a lot of shifting happening, and I'm pretty sure it's going on for you. There's some of you who are resonating with that also. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of rambling now. So let's just get to it, yeah? For the Divine Feminine. Whoops, let's try that again. Best messages for the Divine Feminine. February 12th through to the 18th. Gonna give it 2 more shuffles, and then we're gonna cut the deck. Okay. All right. Okay, your overall energy, Divine Feminine, you are the King of Wands, or you have the King of Wands. Now, I just said you are the King of Wands, and I said that for a reason. And that's because a lot of you are adopting the... Oh, Lord in heaven, look at this. All right, so we've got the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. This is your overall energy, okay, Divine Feminine. All right, so give me a second here. I'm just trying to pull in the message here, get it, because there's a lot of different ways that this can be taken. But for the Divine Feminine, what I'm really feeling is, for the most part, you're adopting this King of Wands and King of Cups energy, and you're adopting this energy because you are actively seeking out your Ten of Cups. You are actively you're moving forward in a way that's like, look, I'm going to get this Ten of Cups regardless of how it looks on the surface. And the King of Wands is really saying that. The King of Wands knows what he wants and is going to go for it. He's steady about it. He's strong. He's grounded and balanced in his energies and in his emotions. He's passionate, incredibly passionate. The King of Cups is just as passionate. He's emotional and caring and giving and loving and supportive and grounded and stable in his emotions as well. And I believe I'm getting that it's showing up as the king. You're showing up as a king right now, Divine Feminine, because you are approaching, you're balancing your masculine energies here. You're drawing on your masculine energies to move forward in your life towards your Ten of Cups. And the King of Wands is saying to me, I know what I want, and I'm going to get it, regardless of whether or not my twin is involved. Because in some situations, yes, this last full moon has created a situation, has illuminated how imbalanced things have been. And so in many cases, unfortunately, some of the Divine Feminines do need to walk away from their twins right now and seek out soulmate relationships. Because it's not fair. It's not fair of you or us to have to reject love or not have the love that we desire or the relationship that we desire because our counterpart isn't ready for it right now. Now, you can absolutely, if you're being called to do so, you can wait. You absolutely could. If that's what you want to do, if that's going to serve your highest good, please, by all means, do that. Continue to hold this space for your Divine Masculine. Don't go after any sort of soulmate relationship and continue working on you. But if you're being called to move forward into a soulmate relationship, please understand that there is nothing wrong with that either. All right? And yeah, I heard some reader did say that, it might extend the timeline, but at the same time, if that's what you're being called to do in this moment, then the timeline was extended anyway. Or this is just part of the timeline, right? Now, what I'm also getting from the King of Wands is, for those of you Divine Feminines that are deciding to stay here in this journey, the message is that you are, you're balancing your masculine energies, and you are kind of like grounding yourself in this twin flame journey from this new perspective that the full moon has provided to you. And you're also grounding your emotions with the King of Cups, right? All of this is in relation to moving forward towards the Ten of Cups, the ultimate fulfillment that we all want, really. Yeah. So, There's your overall energy. Your first position are your current surrounding energies. And we have, wow, look at that, the Queen of Wands. All right, so the message is changing a little bit. Because at first I was thinking, this was, and in many cases it is. In many cases it is you adopting or balancing out your masculine energies here. But your queen, but the surrounding energies are the Queen of Wands, and so we've got a depiction of the twin flames right here in the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So in me saying that the message is changing a little bit, we'll say evolving, your surrounding energies are the Queen of Wands, or so you are still standing in your Queen of Wands state. And now also the underlying or the overall energy is speaking to your divine masculine. And in many cases that makes sense. Because in the divine masculine reading, there are all kinds of aces coming up. Like I'm going to title that message Aces Abound or something like that, because there's brand new energy coming around for him. And his surrounding, so funny, the divine masculine's surrounding energies was the Ace of Wands, right? So there's brand new passion being stoked, being lit within the divine masculine. And that's all it's not just for himself and his life, but it's also for his twin. And so now the divine masculine is actively showing up in your reading, divine feminine. And in that case, if this part of the message is resonating with you in this way, then your divine masculine is accepting his role as the King of Wands, and he's balancing and getting in touch with his emotions with the King of Cups. And he's actively doing all of this, working towards the Ten of Cups. Like it's basically the same thing for the divine masculine as I just said it was for you, divine feminine. Which is fantastic. But now, if divine feminine, if you were on the path where you're integrating, you're drawing on your masculine energies to move forward towards the Ten of Cups in whatever way, you are still you're still doing this all from the Queen of Wands perspective, right? Because you're still the Queen of Wands, but now you're drawing on your masculine energies, and you're working on this through your masculine energies from a feminine point of view. That's what that's saying to you. So your surrounding energies for you, divine feminine, all of this is happening because of your Queen of Wands state, your Queen of Wands reality. You know that. I hope that's coming across correctly. All right, so moving forward, your current thoughts and feelings for your twin in your second position. Holy moly. The Ace of Wands. Look at that. Mirroring. Absolutely mirroring, guys. Because the divine masculine, like I said, the divine masculine got the Ace of Wands in this position. In their first position. These are your current thoughts and feelings for your twin. So a brand new passion is being ignited within you as well, divine feminine. And I totally resonate with that. And I'll give you an example. So if you watched the videos about the blood blue moon that I put out, you would know that I got to a point where I realized just how imbalanced my situation with my twin was. And it finally gave me the strength and the understanding to decide to put distance, a good amount of distance between us, if not walk away completely. Because I was struggling with that for months. I had been struggling whether or not I should let go of the connection and look for something else. And by the time we got to the blood blue moon, I got the wherewithal to say, I'm just going to go look for something else. But then as I moved away from the full moon, and my spirit guides, really, they didn't let me off the hook. They still aren't. I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 days after the full moon, and the energies subsided sufficiently enough, then they could get back in and communicate with me. Now, I'm very clairaudient. I hear a lot of messages audibly. So I hear a lot of my spirit team speaking to me, and adopted a technique that they did in the past. When I first started dealing with this journey, they started repeating his name in my head constantly at various moments. And for me, it was kind of frustrating. I'm like, why are you, you know how I feel about this. You know where I stand on this. Why do you keep telling me about him? Why do you keep trying to remind me about him? Because honestly, I mean, this is, even though I'm saying that I want to go find a soulmate, like a different relationship, I don't feel that's going to happen, because where I'm supposed to be is with my twin. Where a lot of us are supposed to be is with our twins, right? So now as time is moving on and they are constantly repeating his name in my head, a new passion is starting to be reignited within me. But it's from a different perspective. It's not from the perspective that I had when I first got on this journey. It's much more mature, way more mature, right? So if you're resonating with this situation, with this part of the story, Divine Feminine, and it's wow, oh wow. I mean, if there's a new passion being reignited within you for your twin, it's not the same thing. You're so much different now. You understand so much more now. You understand how balanced things need to be. You're no longer approaching this situation from a Knight of Wands energy. No, you're approaching it from a King of Wands energy. You're balanced. You're grounded. You're still a smoldering fire within, but it's not this raging out of control fire that it used to be. And all of that is being tempered by your Queen of Wands energy, your Queen of Wands reality. The Ace of Wands, wow, I'm having some serious deja vu right now. This is really cool. But the Ace of Wands is also speaking to understanding how you're standing in your own way, Divine Feminine. And that is really, I resonate with that also, and I'll give you an example. I have been actively putting up walls towards my twin. I mean, I had a dream actually a few weeks ago where he literally put up a wall between us. Now, granted, that wall wasn't complete. Like, it didn't cover the whole room. Like, there was still a space. There was still a gap at the very end where, like, where something could get through. So to me, that was a message that the wall isn't really complete. Like, it's not fully blocking you guys, but there is a wall, right? And so now, after this last full moon, I've been putting up walls. And my spirit team is really starting to help me understand how I'm standing in my own way here. Because I've been saying to myself, okay, well, I know what I want in a relationship, so in a partner, so I'm just going to project all of those desires onto like this blank astral body, and I'm just going to focus on that. And so that, and I'm doing that, and my spirit team is like, yeah, that's great, and guess who's going to fulfill it for you? And every time they would say his name, I throw it out. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. And I put up a wall. And they're like, well, Eric, you're saying you want all of this, and we're actively telling you that this person can fulfill that with you when they're ready. Why are you putting up walls? Why are you being so stubborn? I am a Taurus with a Virgo rising. Why are you being so stubborn about this? And I feel like a lot of you Divine Feminines that are in that same position where you decided that you were going to walk away and look for a soulmate relationship, and now your spirit team is kind of like trying to redirect redirect you back to where, to a position where you're going to get this 10 of Cups fulfillment that you're looking for. A lot of us are being stubborn about it. But this brand new passion that's being ignited is helping us see how we're standing in our own way. It's helping us heal the resentment. It's helping us understand unconditional love from a brand new perspective. Because it's not really a position of unconditional love that a lot of us were taking right after that last full moon. Granted, we were doing that because we were understanding just how much we've been betraying ourselves. Okay? In being overgiving and being imbalanced, in still working, still holding on to some codependent issues towards this relationship, right? So that's why a lot of us reacted the way we did. But now we're coming to the understanding of, okay, well, that's not so unconditionally loving. And like I can say to you, all right, look, I know I love you and I know you're going through some difficult stuff, but because this relationship is imbalanced, I have to limit, my involvement. And depending on how things go moving forward, I may take a soulmate relationship. And that is unconditionally loving of yourself also, because you realize that you're worthy of love too. So you don't have to again, you don't have to reject offers of love just because your counterpart just isn't ready. But now we're starting to understand unconditional love from a new perspective, which is allowing us to facilitate union, really, because it's like it's preparing us for when we actually do come into union. And now things are starting to be flared up, and we're being triggered still, yes, but in different ways. But because we've learned this lesson of unconditional love in the past, we can approach these things once we get into union, and once we can, and once because nothing is ever going to be puppies, rainbows, and sunshine all the time. There are going to be moments. There are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be triggers still. But because we had learned this lesson in unconditional love that the Ace of Wands is really talking about in a lot of cases, we are better prepared to handle those situations in the future. Wow, that was a really long-winded message, but I feel like it was necessary. It was a necessary message, yeah? So, okay, moving on now. I'm trying to give you guys as many perspectives as I see in these cards because, again, this is a general reading. So I'm just trying to cover as many bases as I can. All right, moving forward, we have where you are in relation to union, Divine Feminine. Eight of Pentacles. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are actively doing your work. You really are. You really are. I mean, you're doing the damn thing. And that's great. And so the Eight of Pentacles is telling you just keep going. Keep working, because ultimately you're going to get what you want. And it is no coincidence that Eight of Pentacles is right on top of the Ten of Cups. So the message there is that you are going to get exactly what you want. You just have to keep working. You just have to keep working. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this spread. I'm doing this upside down because I really like this position. This is a total sidebar, guys. I'm so sorry, but in the Divine Masculine video, I couldn't figure out which side I wanted to put things, and now I'm looking at this. I'm like, I want to reverse this. Like, I want to put position 1 here and position 2 here, because from your perspective, I want you to, because we read from like left to right, you know what I mean? So this is kind of weird. This is kind of backwards, but I'm going to leave it like this for now, but in the future, I'm going to work that out. So sorry, guys. That was such a tangent. All right, moving forward. I mean, the message was really straightforward right there with the Eight of Pentacles. Like, you're doing the work, you're working really hard, and you're going to get what you want. And that even goes for those of you in the Divine Feminines that are working towards soulmate relationships, or you've accepted a soulmate relationship, or there is a soulmate relationship coming to you. It doesn't matter. Whether this is with your twin or not, it doesn't matter. Because you're doing the work that you need to do to better yourself. And that's really one of the main things for this twin flame journey. We must become whole within ourselves so that we can be of greater service to the world, to fulfill what we came here to do. Right? So just keep doing your work. Ultimately, you're going to get that Ten of Cups. Moving forward, we have what you want your twin to know. Whoa! Whoa, guys. Mirroring Three of Swords. The Divine Masculine got that same card in that same position. Wow. Give me a second. I really want to think about this for a second. I mean, obviously, the first, right off the bat, this is first speaking to those of you that are in karmic relationships. What do you want? You're speaking to your twin about it. You're like, look, this karmic relationship has got to go. If you're speaking to your twin and they're in a karmic relationship. Or You could be saying, now this is right under the Ace of Wands, and for the Divine Masculine, it was right under the Ace of Swords. So both of you, I mean, if Divine Feminine, if you're the one in the karmic relationship, there is a brand new passion ignited within you to get out, in many cases. Yeah, this message is quite obscure at the moment, because there are so many different things. I mean, mostly it's mostly talking about, you know, the karmic relationships. But also, this is speaking to a lot of the heartbreak that has been felt, you know, as we move through this twin flame journey. And in a lot of times, a lot of cases, you know, the Divine Feminine really got their heart broken, his or her heart broken, by the twin, because ultimately, like, as it boils down to, you know, our twins in many cases were rejecting, not acknowledging this connection. And I feel like that's coming to an end, though, because this is coupled with the King of Cups here and the Ace of Wands. So, you know, it's like so a lot of the Divine Feminines are balancing out their emotions around whatever happened with the Three of Swords, whatever happened to get them to feel heartbreak. You know, they're balancing out from these emotions, they're healing from them, and they're adopting a brand new passion with the Ace of Swords. Yep. Yep. Okay. Moving forward, I'm going to move forward now. Do we have your current challenges, what your current focus is, what's on your mind, blah, 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 what you're manifesting, you know, that kind of thing. We have, what? Geez, guys, we have the Five of Swords. Now, look, this is another piece of mirroring here, because the Divine Masculine got the Five of Swords in their 6th position. And, guys, I'm just going to say, in between these messages, right after I did the Divine Masculine reading, I shuffled a bunch, you know, like the traditional card shuffling that you see me do. I took the cards and, like, you know, mixed them around a bit. You know, I shuffled these cards. And you watched me shuffle them before I even pulled them. We've got some serious mirroring going on here. But now for you, Divine Feminine, the Five of Swords, this is absolutely talking about what I was saying before, about how we're realizing that we're standing in our own way. After this full moon energy, I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely was in a Five of Swords situation. I was ready to cut a bitch up. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I was not happy. And I was ready to cut someone up. But this card, the Five of Swords, talks about lose-lose situations, right? So the more we stand in this energy of F you, I ain't got time for you no more, blah, 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 like, this is bullshit, I'm moving on, like, I'm leaving you in the dust. The more you stand in that energy, Divine Feminine, the more you hurt yourself in the end. And the same thing goes for the Divine Masculine. But see, the thing about it is the Divine Masculine, I really think the Divine Masculine got this card in their hidden position because they don't really realize that a lot of the time they may not be as connected with their emotions. Well, in most cases, they're not as in tune or connected with their emotions as the Divine Feminine is. So it showed up in their hidden position because they're not really aware of it, right? We as the Divine Feminine, we are very aware of it. But that almost makes it worse. Because we're aware of it, we're actively standing in it. We're actively holding on to it. And that is only going to hurt us more. The more that Spirit is saying this right now, verbatim, the more we stand in this energy, the worse it gets. The further we are from union. And actually, that's really speaking to a lot of the message that's in the Three of Swords here. As we stand in this Five of Swords energy, we create a Three of Swords situation. And if you're standing in that Five of Swords energy, you're actively saying to your twin, I am heartbroken. And I'm mad at you for it. We have to get out of this Five of Swords energy, ladies and gentlemen. We have to allow this last full moon cycle to show us a new perspective towards unconditional love. And I'm not saying, start adopting situations or just dive back into situations where you're letting people walk all over you. In no way is that what we're saying here. But there are ways to unconditionally love someone. Like, you can, even in these types of situations, like, the biggest message here is understanding where the divine masculine is coming from. I am not going to sit here and say that the divine masculine has hurt you just because they're terrible people and they like to see people suffer. No, it's actually the exact opposite. They're suffering. Humans don't hurt each other because we're bad people. We were not born bad people. We were not born evil. We learned it. We grew up in situations that hurt us. In many cases, a lot of the trauma that we're still affected by as an adult happened in our early childhood. And in our early childhood, we learned lessons that we learned lessons that put certain mindsets in place for us. We adopted certain mindsets from our parents and our elders and the people around us. And so that helped us to perpetuate further painful situations that we went through as we grew up. And in learning a new perspective of unconditional love, divine feminine, you are learning to approach the situation from that point of view. From saying, okay, yeah, you hurt me a lot. But understanding two sides of it. One, understanding that, okay, yeah, well, I have put myself in this position to be hurt. Now, most of that is just because, we're being vulnerable. So we're not telling you not to be vulnerable. But also we're saying to you, okay, yeah, you've hurt me, but I'm wondering what you're going through that has caused you to act this way. Compassion. Let go of the Five of Swords energy, because it is doing nothing but hurting everyone. Okay? Moving on. Our last card, the hidden influences, the Five of Pentacles. All right. I mean, this is just telling us, a lot of what we're dealing with, divine feminine, a lot of what you're dealing with still, especially with moving through this energy, is not wanting to feel like you're out in the cold anymore. I mean, that was the title of one of the videos that I put up. I think it was the first Blood Blue Moon conversation that I put up. It was, I don't want to feel like this anymore. So divine feminine, you're still dealing with some of that energy right now. And yes, you're not so aware of it because you're standing in this Five of Swords energy. But actually, that is why you're standing in this Five of Swords energy, because of the Five of Pentacles energy, because of the feelings of lack, because of the feelings of being out in the cold, of being ignored, being neglected. You don't want to feel like that anymore. But I feel like in some situations, you're still holding on to that. Not really sure why, though. Like, you're still holding on to the Five of Pentacles energy instead of just releasing it. You don't have to feel like that. And I think the major lesson in all of this Five of Pentacles energy that's been around us for so long, divine feminine, is stop looking for validation from others outside of you. You won't feel left out in the cold if you're not leaving yourself out in the cold, right? And in most cases, us leaving ourselves out in the cold has been giving to situations where we're not being, where the give and take is not reciprocal. Where the give and take is not balanced. Continuing to give to situations in which people aren't giving back to us. That is absolutely how we are leaving ourselves out in the cold. Because we're choosing to expect to invest energy in people that are not investing in us. I don't care if it's with your twin or not. If they're not going to invest back, then you got to go somewhere else, boo boo. And yeah, in you going somewhere else and getting into a situation where now it is reciprocal, that is going to open their eyes in a lot of cases. Will it be too late by then? Sure, maybe. It might be, but also it might not be. Who knows? There is no right or wrong here. And wherever you find yourself, Divine Feminine, know that that is exactly where you're supposed to be in that moment. And you're just working through the lessons of the moment. So please don't get down on yourself because you may still be fighting this fight here with the Five of Swords. I mean, if you're still going through it, that's fine. But the guidance here is to learn from it, is to work your way out of it, is to learn unconditional love, a greater vision of unconditional love in this situation. Yeah? Great. I'm going to leave it there because, oh wow, I just realized Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles. That's cool. Challenges. Absolutely. Challenges. Five is a number of challenges. Five is also a number of change. Growth. This is a major challenge for us, Divine Feminines. I know that for a fact because I'm feeling it. The challenge of laying down our sword. But the reason we're in this Five of Swords energy is because we are really becoming very aware. We're becoming very aware of how our relationships have been imbalanced. And the message goes, this message came out for the Divine Masculine, but it's also coming out for the Divine Feminine right now. Revenge is not going to help you. Revenge is only going to make things worse. Please do not adopt, well, some of us have already adopted a vengeful point of view, but please, revenge is not going to help. Again, lose-lose situations. I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this moment, so I'm just going to let it go, but the message is clear. All right? I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. Again, if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can email me. If you have a quick question you want to ask me, you can instant go me. If you would like to donate to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. All of that information is in the description box down below. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak with you soon. Bye, guys.